Hey everybody, this is AMV Reverted Studios here once again with another MapleStory video. In this video I am training with one of my guildies. We're just sharing a map and trying to level up. Unfortunately you guys don't see me level up because I actually disconnected when I was leveling up, so that's kind of crappy. But anyway, that's not what I'm here to talk about. By the title, you can probably tell I'm going to get into a topic looking back to look forward. I have been thinking a lot about how 2016 has gone for me, considering we are just a few days away from 2017, the start of a whole new year. And I don't know about you guys, but 2016 has been crazy for me. So many things have happened that I never thought would have happened, so many changes, and I'd like to say that all of them were good, but honestly some of them kind of sucked. And that's what I'm gonna talk about, is my year in a nutshell. So the beginning of 2016, I was a lot different. And I was taking a break from YouTube and MapleStory because a lot of crazy life stuff was going on. I was with somebody at the time that I had been in a previous relationship with, and we ended up breaking up probably a year before because of certain circumstances. The whole relationship was just toxic and poisonous, and he was not good for me. But at the time, the way I was feeling about myself, I thought that he was what I deserved, that he was what I wanted, and I spent so much time on him and put so much effort into the relationship we had in the past that I didn't want to let go of that. And so the beginning of 2016, or I should say the end of 2015, I was back in a relationship with him. I had moved back to Minnesota and we were living together. But it became very evident after just a couple months of trying to be in a relationship with him again that nothing had changed, that he hadn't changed, that the reasons why we broke up hadn't changed, and the whole relationship was extremely emotionally straining, and the whole thing was just a mess. So I quickly became single again starting 2016. And I was a lot different of a person than I am sitting at this screen today talking to you guys. I didn't really have any self-worth. I was pretty depressed. I had no motivation, and I was just angry and upset for probably the first few months of 2016. I was just a very bitter, angry, depressed, miserable person, and looking back at it now, I wish I could have shook some sense into myself and told myself that that wasn't going to last forever. Luckily, when I started my job again where I had worked before, I had met some friends, and I met a good friend named Peter, and you've seen him on the gaming channel when we were playing Left 4 Dead and Portal. He became my best friend very, very quickly, and he introduced me to the more positive side of life. He helped me out a lot when I was down, or I was having a depressive episode, or I was scared, or something really bad was happening between me and my ex. He was there and he helped me, and he became quickly my best friend during the end of that winter into spring and summer. We started going to the gym together, and my life pretty much revolved around work, the gym, and playing video games at his house. I didn't do much outside of that because I was still trying to get over feeling replaced, worthless, bitter, to a point, I guess, envious at the same time of my ex, because he moved on so quickly and he got over me so quickly that to a point I found myself wishing that I could just get over people like he did so I wouldn't be hurt and it wouldn't matter. But I realized that is not the kind of person that I wanted to be. So I took a lot of time to myself to not just become physically more fit, but just find myself again. I was writing a lot, I was reading a lot, I was just reflecting on life and finding ways to cope at the moment. And I started learning my worth. I started learning that I didn't need to be in a relationship to make me happy. I didn't need to be in love or be desired by somebody to be happy, that I could be happy and content by myself. So I started doing a lot more things by myself or with coworkers or friends, and I was starting to find myself again, and I was starting to be a lot more happy. And then in April, I ended up meeting my current boyfriend, Nick. And at the time, I'm not gonna lie, I during the time where I was just finding myself again, going to the gym, just doing things that made me happy and get my mind off of the whole breakup and feeling like I wasted the last 2.5 years of my life, I was scared for the first time in probably 4 or 5 months, because I had met this guy, this amazing sweetheart of a guy, and I was absolutely terrified. I think for the first couple of months, I was just waiting for him to get bored and break up with me. And I clearly expressed this to him, and he wondered why, because I am his first girlfriend. But I guess he didn't really understand what I had been through at the time until I started really opening up to him and telling him, hey, I've been through some really crappy relationships. I got out of one about probably 5 months previous to him, and it wasn't a good relationship. And, I told him that I had trust issues and I was scared and I was worried that he was just going to get bored and break up with me, or that, you know, the problems I had with anxiety and depression would just be too much for him and I would just be a burden. And I found myself talking through the opinion of my ex. And I realized that that wasn't healthy, and that there would be no way that me and Nick could have a healthy relationship if I kept seeing myself and thinking of myself the way that my ex did, which was just a crazy burden with depression problems and, someone who needed to be on medication and needed to see a therapist. And it made me feel really crazy and really low about myself, and that nobody would ever be able to understand or love me. And once I completely opened up to Nick and I explained my past and how I am and how my brain works, with the depression, the anxiety, the ADD, I thought that he would just run away, or he would, think that I was a waste of time. But to my shock, he stuck around. And we've been together for 8.5 months so far. And I can tell you, it has been the healthiest, most uplifting, most encouraging, most, I guess, educational relationship I've ever been in. And he has given me a lot of good advice throughout the months that me and him have been together. He's introduced me to a lot more fun activities and made me realize that I am more desirable than how any of my exes made me feel, especially my last one. He showed me that I am a strong person, that I am a beautiful person, that, I am attractive, and that I'm not a burden, and I'm not completely insane. And he made me feel a lot stronger, and he really taught me how to let go of situations, because I've always had a problem with letting go of anger, letting go of my past, letting go of my fears, letting go of what scares me about people, and the fear of being rejected, the feeling of being abandoned, the feeling of being left. And he really started bringing back a side of me that I never thought I'd see again, which was a strong, independent person who, yes, loved being in loved, and, needed to be needed, and loved being wanted, but also didn't need those things, that could get along without those things, that, if somebody decided that they didn't want to be friends with me anymore, I'd be like, you know what, that's a shame. I really liked you as a friend, but, if you want nothing to do with me, then goodbye. And, I missed that person and I didn't realize that, that's how far I strayed away from myself being in unhealthy relationships. And this even applied to friendships, not just exes. I found myself losing, as the year went on, more and more people as friends than I would have liked. But I realized that it happened for a reason. Clearly, if those people, couldn't handle me becoming the person that I was again, instead of being the person that everybody could step on and use, then those really weren't my friends. And some friendships didn't end on a bad note. They kind of ended. Like, we stopped talking, we strayed in different directions, or we just found ourselves doing other things and not talking to each other anymore. And to those people, I hope they're doing okay, and I do still think about them and I still do care about them. But some people, they just they start out as really good friends, and there was a lot of people in 2016 that towards the end of the year I never thought I'd stop talking to, but they just kind of stopped talking to me, or they lost interest in being my friend, or there were people that used me for the things that I could get them. And that's a shame that people take advantage of other people's kindness, or take advantage of what people can give them. But it happens, and you really just got to choose your friends carefully, and not trust people right away. My biggest fault is I probably give people the benefit of the doubt, and I give them that ultimate chance to hurt me. And a lot of that has happened this year, where there were people that I was talking to from the end of 2015 to mid 2016, and then all of a sudden we just weren't talking anymore. And they lost interest, they stopped checking in, and it's a shame, because I did genuinely care about these people. But some people just aren't meant to be in your life, and if they are, some people are only meant to be in your life temporarily, and then they move on and you move on too. I am finding myself towards the end of the year stepping into the new year with a lot less friends, but the friends that I do have are genuine people, and that is something I'm thankful for. This year I was able to wean out a lot of my fake friends, a lot of the people that were using me for the things that I could get them. I stepped away from being scared of my ex, being scared of being in love, because I discovered what a healthy, real relationship is like. And I learned to care less, and that sounds really bad, and I don't mean like emotionally I'm just numb and I don't give a crap about anything or anyone. I mean just not stressing out over little things, and just learning to be just content in the moment, live in the moment, and do what I need to do to get through my day and be happy. And ultimately, at the end of the day, if I'm happy with myself, and Nick's okay, and the people that I genuinely care about, like my friends and my family that I still talk to this far into the year and starting 2017, then that's good enough for me. I hope this video made sense and you guys enjoyed hearing about it, and I will see you in the next video.